Welcome back, everyone. And today we are going through our network, our team, referral partner, Buffalo Niagara Falls housing market investment update. And what we're going to talk about is really going to blow your mind. This is not exaggeration. And so just stay tuned and watch this video from beginning to the end. Watch it over again and again. And then you'll see what I'm trying to say. This is not an exaggeration. This is not overhyping, anything like that. And I find these kind of properties and these returns are just absolutely mind-boggling. So with that in mind, welcome once again. This is Seewing Yee from the University Network. And my co-presenter is no other than Julie.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you.
Yep, morning. And I really appreciate you taking time out of your day, Julie, to talk about our Buffalo Niagara Falls housing update for our investors, for my network, as well as any other YouTube channel subscribers who's watching this video. Please just be prepared to be excited. And yeah, so Julie, by the way, is one of our best investment members, and coincidentally, she's very qualified to talk about today's housing deal because Julie and her husband Mark has amazingly created an amazing portfolio here in Buffalo, Niagara Falls. She's a late starter, Julie. She started investing 2 years ago. Quickly, she scaled her property acquisition portfolio to the tune of 6 total rental properties. So 6 rental properties purchased from our Buffalo referral partner, our team, a couple of years ago. In fact, you will not only have achieved some surprising appreciation on your rental properties, but we also have some rental income increases as well, rents increasing, and the maintenance issues and all those potentially negative factors are pretty much minimized. Quickly, actually, so I don't want to spend too much time on it because we have done other videos where you went in depth about the details of your property acquisition. But quickly, on your rental properties, from a high level, 1 minute time, tell me how your portfolio increased over the past few years and what's your expectation for the long term on your.
Just in terms of, thank you for the introduction. And just in terms of just our overall, I just really want to stress to the audience that we did a lot of properties in a very short amount of time. The exciting thing is all of the properties have increased in value in just 2 years, as you were saying. And we are receiving a lot of benefits in a lot of different ways. We've got a top-notch property management team that's working with us. And it's just, once you get it, you set it and you forget it. The team is fabulous. ABC property managers. And so it makes it very easy for us to manage properties that are 3,000 miles away from California. These properties are in New York. And so it's been a great experience. I just really want to encourage people, look more in depth. Like you said, go back and look at some of the other videos that we've done and really begin to get an understanding of how this process works. Because once you do it one time, second time, third time, fourth time, it becomes much easier.
Absolutely. All right. So with that in mind, thank you for your sharing your positive experience associated with buying 6 rental properties, financing with 20 to 25% down payment. And also you use your self-directed IRAs to buy a couple of them as well. So anyway, so without further ado, let me go ahead and share the screen. And I'm going to start off by going through some third-party verification on this. And what I mean by that is I'm using this recent article by Redfin, very popular resource out there in the mainstream media. Redfin, they report on a daily and weekly basis about all aspects of the housing market. And surprisingly, they mentioned something about upstate New York. I was I'm proud to verify, go over this briefly because it's a headline by Redfin dated a couple of days ago, 27 October, and published
That's great.
26 October. Actually updated a few days ago. Anyway, the headline is homes in upstate New York sell in roughly a week. Okay, and then it says Albany, Rochester, and Buffalo are among the nation's fastest housing markets. Now, what that means is I'm not saying that Buffalo is gonna, a housing market is gonna skyrocket in prices, whatever. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that houses are selling faster in upstate New York than anywhere else in the country. And that's what they're reporting. That's the content of this article. Further, as I go through the deep dive, it says, one of the Redfin real estate agents said that many of the housing market in upstate New York, where people are still flocking into the area, people are still staying put, and because of the housing prices are very low, affordability is low compared to the rest of the nation, because with a budget of $400,000 or less, you can buy a very nice home in upstate New York, and there's a lack of supply of inventory. And given that the housing prices throughout the country has skyrocketed so much, and we have a historical 40-year affordability, a low affordability associated with primary home buyers, is so people over the nation and people in upstate New York are targeting entry level homes to live, to buy. Okay, for those that have the ability to buy, and for those that do not have the ability to buy, they have rent. And that's where we come in, Julie. That's where you and our investors are buying low cost entry level rental properties to provide, to allow the renters in the upstate New York market rent our properties. So we as landlord investors can achieve a very good return, providing some affordable rental units to the local renters in there. Anyway, so again, here as stated by the Redfin realtors, that Buffalo was promoted for years as an affordable city, so much to offer, including cheap labor, steadily growing local economy. And so the Buffalo and upstate market is catching up with the other part of the country. There's a housing shortage in upstate New York. People cannot afford to move out of state. People who grew up in the upstate New York, they say to themselves, why should we migrate to other areas of the country when other areas of the country, the home prices are so high, can't afford it, so might as well stay to New York and try to buy a home here, or you can't buy, try to rent meanwhile until you can buy. So that create a very good housing market uptick in the upstate New York, Buffalo, and Niagara Falls, for example. So that's the crux of this article. And finally, this article mentioned metro level, September 2023, Buffalo medium days in the market, in the Buffalo market, so being listed only 11 days before they come under contract, which is very quick.
Right.
Homes are flying off the market compared to other markets in the country where medium days on the market are a lot more than 11 days.
Right.
And also the biggest attraction is the median home sales price, Buffalo, New York areas at only $255,000, whereas other areas of the country, like in California, is more than $1 million, and in Boston is $685K, and so forth and so on. So that's all I need to say on this written article. Julie, do you have any quick comment about?
I think it's a very exciting article, particularly for those of us that own property in that upstate New York area, because what that means is people are going to be looking for housing in those areas. If you can't afford to buy, you're going to be renting. And those of us that own properties, we will not only get the renters, but we're going to get the increase in property values. Because whenever you have a housing shortage, and then people start grabbing, and even showing that it's only 11 days staying on the market, that means properties are moving very quickly. So if you're not in that market, now would be a really good time to get in that market.
Absolutely. So now we're gonna direct your attention to our members within our real estate investment network, our investors from out of state, particularly from California, where most of our members are, and also anyone out there that are watching this on a YouTube channel. So we're gonna go over our updates. So this network partner, the Buffalo Turnkey, that we've been doing business with over several years now, and many of our investors, hundreds of them over the past 5, 6, 7 years, have purchased rental properties from Buffalo Turnkey. This is all limit properties, and Buffalo Turnkey, again, you purchase all 6 of your rental properties from this group. So I'm not going to go over too much detail, but Buffalo Turnkey is a one-stop shop. They have in-house property management. They do everything for you. They have been selling this market. They know the neighborhood very well. They do their own rehabs. They do it's a turnkey property, okay? You don't pay any extra cost other than the cost of buying the property turnkey. So they've been selling their market past 30 years, father and son. It's a family business. They are very reputable, have a tremendous track record, and that's why they've been doing business for so long. They have investors from all over the nation, particularly from Canada, which is not too far away from Niagara Falls. Yeah, Canadians have been buying rental properties from this book, Buffalo Turnkey, for many years. And they have overseas buyers from the Middle East, from UK, from Australia, from South America, also coming into this market to buy these turnkey off-limit properties exclusively for. And our investors, of course, have consistently buying. Why? Because the returns are very good. You can make money. But for this market, what can you ask for? When you buy rental properties, you won't have a good return, short-term and long-term, and we've been getting that. Regardless of what's going on, all the negative news out there, we're not going to discuss all the doom and gloom, the sky is falling, all the misleading information that people have been subjecting to out there in the housing market. Needless to say, Buffalo is a very stable market. You'd be surprised. So what I'm concerned is the best kept secret. So this week's listing, as we begin the month for November, time flies, November 2020.
Yes.
Here's the off-market listings that are available to our network investors and anybody else out there who wish to become a free member of our organization. By the way, at the end of this presentation, and if you please, you see any value whatsoever after watching this video, whoever you are watching, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Thank you so much for your time. I know this spreadsheet, we get this spreadsheet on a weekly basis for many years now. I know this spreadsheet, at first it seems overwhelming. I know the letters are very small. I wish I could enhance the words to it, the letters. But there are 2 categories. The upper category consists of properties in Buffalo. There's 20, 30 properties. And then at the bottom, the Niagara Falls properties, slightly different locations. There are 3 categories of properties. One is ready. That means ready, or they are turnkey, they are been rehab, they're ready to be sold to investors out there. Then the next category is future property. As you can see right here on the status, future properties means the property is being rehab as we speak. And then under contract, of course, people already reserve it. They are going through the transaction. Investors already bought the property. They are about to close escrow, and then ready to go. Future properties, you may be able to reserve some of those future properties ahead of time. Once the rehab is done, next 2 weeks, whatever, then you can now open up escrow. And so out of all the investors that have purchased in this particular turnkey provider, Buffalo Turnkey,
Mhm.
I would say 1/3 of the buyers they buy all cash, pure cash, or using the self-directed IRA, and the other, actually half the buyers they buy all cash and they buy 2 or 3 or 4 at a time because the properties are so inexpensive. And the other half of the investors they buy using financing. And I say financing. Some of this property costs only $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. They
Right.
can finance, believe it or not. Which is absolutely shocking. And that's how you make your return. 20 to 25% down payment, even with an 8% mortgage rate for investor, or even slightly higher than that, you can still cash flow. Now, the mainstream media will mislead you thinking that there's no more cash flow investment properties with 20 to 25% down payment,
Right.
or very few for that matter. Yeah, in a way that's true, Julie.
Right.
Housing prices have skyrocketed so much in the past few years. And however, the rent increases have not kept up. So
Right.
people think, oh, there's no more cash flow. Well, should not be an investor, right? Or should wait to buy rental property. Not in Buffalo, not in Niagara Falls.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I think it's interesting too when you're looking at the list and there's a lot of multi-units on there, duplex, triplex, quads. And we have talked about this before. And I just encourage your audience, if you haven't gone back or if you don't know about like house hacking, go back and listen to one of the previous videos that we did. But this is a great area to do that because you can live in the property values are so cheap. You can live in one, rent out the other 2 or 3 or however many you've got. And it's a great way to begin your investment journey if you wanted to do it that way too. So I just really want to encourage you, anybody that lives there already or is thinking about moving to the East Coast, that's a great way to do that.
Absolutely. As for the out-of-state investors, especially for most of our California investors that we are on our database, you have to buy purely as a rental property, just fine. You're not living there. So 20 to 25% down payment, even with an 8% mortgage rate,
Right.
you can still cash flow significantly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But, I know that's beyond the scope of this presentation, but you buy investment property not only because of cash flow, because of other benefits. But we're not going to talk about that. Julie, I took the liberty of picking 8 properties. Going today. Okay, it's 4 properties in Buffalo and 4 properties in Niagara Falls. And some of the numbers, when you watch this video, follow our audio and follow the screenshot that you have on the spreadsheet. So we have a cheat sheet, Julie and I, because to paper here. So quickly, let's go the first 4 property up in Buffalo. Let's go with item number 13. If you look at your cheat sheet,
yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
360 West.
Yeah.
And I think just to give your customer base a broad brush, if you like, and just looking at this, it can be overwhelming. But if you just first glance, if you go with that 1% rule, like even on number 15, that one meets and exceeds. If you look at it, it's $117,000. The rent is $1,800. Just on that alone, that would be something worth looking at. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, Julie, in case some audience doesn't understand what you just, the 1% rule. Now, describe the audience, what do you mean by the iconic 1% rule?
So on the sale price, like in this case, it's $117,000. So if you want to look at the 1% rule, the rent should be at least 1% or better than the actual 1% of the sales price. So if you're looking at $117,000, $1,170 would be the 1% rule. So now you're looking at a property that's not only getting $1,170, but it's getting $1,800. So you're more than exceeding that 1% rule.
Exactly. You based on the numerical formula is based on 20 or 25% down payment. And based on the 1% rule, your cash flow should be very high even with an 8% mortgage rate as we speak. By the way, there are few areas in the country you're getting the 1% low cash flow. Am I right, Julie? Very
Right.
fair.
I agree. I agree.
Continue. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would, and I think in this case it's ready now. So that would be a property. If you are in a position to move on it, that would be great. That would be an excellent property to take a look at. I think another one that we're looking at is the duplex on Wildwood. Excuse me, Wildwood is a 4-unit. It's not a duplex. It's a 4-unit, fourplex. It is in the future. You can see the notation there.
Item 18. For those of you watching, item 18 right here. Item 18.
Correct.
Property in question, 318-320 Wildwood. It's a fourplex. Go ahead.
Again, and then again, if you're broad brushing it, looking at that 1% rule, rents, property value, $173,000, rents at $2,320. Far exceeds that 1% rule. Would be, and Seewing said, with 25% down, you would get a very good cash flow. And if you look across the aisle all the way at the end, it says a 12.73% gross return on your investment. So think about it from the standpoint, and when you're looking at ROI, look at it, think of it from how much money are you earning in the bank right now with your money? Most of us are barely getting 1%, 2%, maybe they got 3-4% CDs, but now you're talking about a 12.73% return on your investment.
By the way, the 12.73% is without any mortgages, without any leverage.
Correct.
Apply the leverage on top of this return, right? Cash on cash return, by the way.
Right.
If you're doing 25% down payment, you're not getting 12.73%. You're getting like 30 to 40% return on your investment in each year. Am I right?
Right. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. It's like you can't lose. And then besides the rents, besides the cash value, you've always got the values, the properties are increasing because you can see these are places where investors, and I think Seewing made a big point of it, investors are coming to buy and they're coming with cash. They're coming from out of the country. They're coming from Canada. They're coming from Dubai. They're coming from the Far East to buy these properties. So now is the time. I think most people looking at these numbers are amazed that you can even get property at this price. So that's something I really wanted to stress. Moving forward, number 25, where it says 105 Stevenson. Again, you got another duplex, $209,000, $2,190 cash. Again, meets that 1% rule right there, and you got a 10.65% ROI again. And that's a future property. So again, that's something that they're working on. And then that price could change too. That is something your clients need to be aware of. Because it's in the future, that means they're doing rehab work. They're going to reevaluate it or reassess it once they get everything completed. So those numbers could change. So I do want to caution your audience or your network, if they're looking at that now, understand that's not a hard number right now. The other one where they're saying ready, that's a hard number. And they're very reasonable. And one thing I realized too, with this particular company, I will say they're pricing it under market. I would say they're pricing it under market because I think if you look at how, even in the short time that we've owned properties, how much they've increased in value, they're getting a good deal. They're not trying to, one thing about Buffalo, they're not trying to gouge people. They have a number, and I don't know what their bottom line number is or what they're trying to make profit wise, but I know all the properties that we bought were slightly under market. I would say.
Very good point.
Yeah.
Very important points.
Mm-hmm. So then again, moving on to number 30, which is 51 Mansion. I know that's a triplex. Again, very good deal. You're looking at $156,000, $1,845 on the rents, and the 10% on the ROI. Something again I want to mention too about these duplexes, triplexes, and the quads. Great opportunity to house hack. Great opportunity to house hack, where you live in one, you rent out the others. Stay there for a year or two, rent out the fourth one. Even see when we were talking about this earlier, if you live in it, they have this program with the 5% down. You can get into a property with 5% down. And even with the property values being this low, you could probably still cash flow. And then once You stay there for a year or two. Once you've met your requirements, you can move on to something else. Then all 3 units or all 4 units are being rented out. So that's something too that, like I said, if you got people moving to the East Coast, think about that. You don't just buy a house, buy an investment.
Exactly. So what Jimmy's trying to say is, she's trying. People want a house hack. People that live, like you said, if you live in upstate New York, you might want to buy a primary home using the new lending guideline, which was just initiated by Fannie Mae lending. But you can buy 2 to 4 units with 5% down only if you are use it as an owner occupied. You live in one unit and you rent out the other units.
Right.
So that's a great way to house hack. However, for our out-of-state investors who have no intention of living in New York, you not want a house hack, you have to buy it as a pure investment property, and you have to pay 20 to 25% down payment. In 40% down payment minimum to buy a single family residential rental. If you want to buy 2 to 4 units as an investor from out of state, you need at least 25% down payment. All right.
Exactly. And
Good
then
point.
again, now, so we're dropping down. I think we're going to look at some of the Niagara Falls properties too. These properties tend to be a little.
One more. Hold on. Went to go for. Yeah, okay, you're right. You did.
Yeah, we did the 4. I thought we did the 4.
Let's go Niagara Falls. Okay.
So now we're going to drop down to number 64, which is 645 South Street. 64. And now I just want to let your audience know too, properties in Niagara Falls tend to be a little less expensive than the Buffalo, Lockport, Tonawanda area. So but the good thing is obviously that they're lower price and you're going to get probably a better cash flow than you even would in some of those other areas too. Again, you have another duplex. This particular one is a future property. So it's something you want to keep your eye on. And what I would do when we were looking, I would pin properties that I really was interested in. Maybe as we're going through escrow on one property, I pin some future property. I would stay in touch with Caleb through Buffalo Turnkey. He was our representative that we worked with. And I would just check in from time to time. In fact, one of the last properties I got, I had been looking at it for a year. And it was great because I just check in and there was a situation. They had somebody in there that had some issues. They had to get the person out or whatever. And I just kept watching it because I just knew that I wanted this property. That was really great. Excuse the phone ringing in the background. But anyway.
Yeah. This duplex on item 64, Julie.
Right.
Future property, yes. But look at the tentative price on these duplex, 69,000 duplex, and rent for 1,050 on 2 doors on both doors at 13.63% rate of return without financing. So these are amazing. Some people thinking, Julie, some people are thinking, oh, it's only on paper. You guys are over projecting the pro forma or this when in actuality the returns are a lot lower. You might be wrong. You're probably wrong thinking that way. I know some other recent news that you watch from other channels, they say, oh, don't buy old properties. Don't buy in the Midwest because they hike the cash flow. But at the end of the day, there's so much maintenance. There's so much vacancy. You have the location is really bad. You have some very bad tenant. Can you dispel this myth to the audience right now?
Oh, absolutely. I think every single fear that people have, I think can be overcome with the right property or with the right team. And we have a very good team in Buffalo. We've had very minimal need for repairs. Even through the buying process, we were able to work with them. And once you develop that relationship, they are willing to do some things for you that maybe some other companies wouldn't because you're just a number. You're not a name. You don't have a name and a face. And we got to know them very well. Yeah, we haven't had any issues with that. Vacancy has never been a problem. All of our properties have been filled. We did lose a tenant earlier this year. They got it filled within 3 weeks. So we didn't really miss a beat. Here's the other thing. The more properties you have, you don't feel it so much. If one of them not in operation, you still have 5 more that are working. So that was an advantage. And the other thing I want to stress with you too, with the Niagara Falls properties, because the sales prices are lower, The first two properties we bought, and you briefly mentioned it earlier, were inside of our retirement account, which we were able to pay cash for those. So those, and then that's just money that's going back into our retirement account. And that probably is a whole nother class. We should do a whole nother class on just the using your self-directed IRA to buy property. But we were able to pay cash for both of those properties, cash flowing very well. All that money is going back into our retirement because we don't need it right now because my husband's still working a full-time job. So there's just tons of opportunity. Don't be afraid of the older houses. In fact, in California, if you have an older house, that's a classic. So don't be afraid of that. And like I said, these houses have stood the test of time, and we don't even have weather in California. These houses have lived through sleet and snow and hail and all that other stuff, and they're still standing. So I would just encourage people, do your due diligence and just make a decision because it's really not hard once you do your work, do your homework.
Yep. Okay, we got 3 properties left. Item 83, item 87, and item 89. Can you briefly go over?
Absolutely. And these are all, again, multi-units. In fact, that's the 83, we'll jump down to 83, 1739 Ashland. Again, you got another duplex. It is in the future. So again, that's something you want to keep an eye on for $94,000 though. A duplex for less than, in fact, we have a duplex in my husband's IRA that we paid less than $100,000 for. So again, you've got your way exceeding the 1% rule with an $1,800 a month rent. And keep in mind too, I just want to remind people, these rents will go up because they will reassess these every year, especially if a tenant moves out. Like I said earlier, we had a tenant move out earlier this month or earlier this year. They raised the rent another $100. So that's more cash flow for us. And they got a nice family in there. It's going to be a great opportunity. So again, a duplex, 94,000, can't beat that.
Yep.
Yeah. So that one at 83, if you just want to drop down a little bit to 87, you got 505 5th Street in Niagara Falls.
Yep.
Again, another triplex is ready. So that would be something you'd want to jump on right away. Do your numbers, $104,000 again, $1,800 a month. Can't beat that.
$1,800 a month for 3 units. Okay, so
3 units,
$600 per door rent, gross rent. So times 3 doors equals $1,800.
And that's a very good point. You want to understand what your bottom line is. Like you said, $300 or $600 a door is huge. That's huge. I have a baseline of I won't go below $250, but to get $600 a door is incredible. So that's a very good point that you pointed out, Seewing.
Yep.
And then on the last one, which is a 5-unit, and you might want to speak to that because that is a little different animal. That's considered commercial versus single family. But yeah, you may want to take over and just talk a little bit about number 89 because I haven't had any experience in commercial real estate yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah. Any kind of rental properties that are more than 4 units, 5 units or above is considered commercial. So this is that reason. A little bit different lending. You're no longer using the Fannie Mae conforming type of loans, which you're accustomed to from 1 to 4 unit. So commercial loan is not a 30-year fixed rate. It could be fixed for, I don't know too much about commercial lending, but there are loans out there. You can still do it, but you need, in order to qualify to get a commercial loan, you need to be an experienced investor. You need to have owned at least 1 rental property prior. And other than that, get a commercial loan at whatever rate, 8% rate, and a minimum 25% down payment, sometimes 30% down payment.
Right.
The loan is not as attractive as a 30-year fixed rate conforming residential lending, but still, at the end of the day, it's still good deals. Yeah, go ahead, Julie. Go over the rest of this number on this amazing 5-unit.
Yeah, and so then again, so just everything he's saying is true as far as the 5-unit. It's commercial. It's a little bit different animal. But if you look at the bottom line on the numbers, again, if you want to go back to your basics, $141,000 purchase price, $2,650 on the rent. Again, that's huge on a 5-unit property. If we run the numbers on that.
Look at the rate of return on the right hand side.
And the rate of return, 20.83%.
Without leverage, without the loan, you add
Right.
25% down loan payment, your total ROI could be like 30 to 40%.
Yes. And again, it's a minimum of about $530 a door on 5 units. So you can't beat those prices. It's just, there's so many opportunities just on that one sheet. And I know you have a lot of other networks that you work with, other teams in different parts of the country, but the Redfin article is huge because it's showing people are very interested in the upstate New York area. So now is a really good time to make that decision. I just really want to encourage your audience or your network. Now is the time to get involved, especially in that area.
Really, absolutely. Again, each individual have their own unique goals and objectives, right? To diversify the portfolio, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But if you have a 10 property purchase acquisition portfolio, and some of the investors have those ambitious goals, who's to say you should not buy 2 or 3 or 4 of them out of 10 property in Buffalo, Niagara Falls to get some very high cash flow. So you can, if you're close to your retirement, like you are, Judy,
Yes.
you're 5 to 7 years away from retirement.
Right.
Buy a high cash flow return in Buffalo, Niagara Falls. That will, once you retire, you could live off your passive income fairly quickly.
Right.
This market's not just cash flow, right? You still get other benefit, tax benefit, appreciation, living appreciation. Yeah. Okay, Julie, go ahead. Well, once you finish up with the remaining 30, what minute we have? Go ahead.
One second. Yeah. So again, I just want to encourage people, don't wait. Because people are always waiting for the right time. The interest rate has to be right. The price has got to be right. Is it an up market, down market, side market, whatever kind of market? It doesn't really matter. I think the point is get in the market. Do something, because I think a lot of your network or just people in general have a lot of cash that is sitting on the sidelines. They're listening to the gloom and doom of the news and, oh, we're going to have a recession. It's whatever. It doesn't really matter. Get in now, because I don't think when you look at the numbers, the rates of return on the investment, the potential for an increase in the property values, there's no downside to getting involved and getting investing now. And worst case scenario, have an exit strategy, because you can always sell a property. And if you've paid cash for it, it's gone up in value, you can sell it and then be comfortable with your nest egg. But I just think buying real estate presents so many different opportunities for you to grow your portfolio and, like you said, diversify, because cash is doing nothing in the bank. It's just doing nothing in the bank. The investment market, which I was an investment broker for a lot of years, but it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up and down. You never know what it's going to do. But then real estate, you always know what it's going to do. So I would just say, do it now. Get involved. Do it now.
Yeah, exactly, Julie. Here's my takeaway. My takeaway is right now we have the lowest inventory, historically speaking, and the demand is still very high.
Right.
And housing prices have not decreased in value, contrary to what the media has been trying to tell you in the past 1 to 2 years. No, housing is still very robust. Yes, we're getting a historically high mortgage rate of 8%, whatever, amazing.
Right.
But from 3% mortgage rate 2 years ago to 8% today, guess what? Housing prices have not decreased in value. Yes,
that's right.
In some market in California, yes, there's a slight decrease, at least temporarily.
Right.
But the region of the country, in Midwest and South and Southeast, home prices have not really decreased at all. They have increased in value this past year as well.
Absolutely.
Low inventory, still high demand, put upward pressure on home prices. And then because homes have skyrocketed so much and the mortgage rate has increased so much, we have a historic 40-year of home ownership affordability issues. Right. So what does that mean? That means we have historic renters nation. People need some place to live.
Yes.
And there are not enough homes to rent. So the rental market nationwide can be very strong. There will be a lot more renters going to be entered the rental pool that would put upward pressure on your rents up today.
Absolutely.
So the winners in this housing market or real estate investors like you and I,
Right.
the wherewithal to time to crisis, to take action where everybody else is fearful. Warren Buffett said, when everybody's fearful, be greedy. And right now it's time to be greedy in a good way. Yeah, that's my takeaway. So any one final thought from you, Julie? Before we go?
You know what? You like Nike a lot because you got a different Nike shirt on, but I just want to say it again. Just do it. Just do it. Because now's the time.
Yep. You said it all. There you go. Thank you so much, Julie, for...
Thank you. Good seeing you, Seewing.
And thank you, everybody, for watching. Please, again, if you see value from this video, please like, subscribe, and comment below. And then we'll sign up to our newsletters from our database. We receive free weekly email newsletters on all aspects of the housing market and from below from our website. Thank you so much. This is Seewing Yee and with Julie. Thank you so much. And I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.